Hi, I want to show you some visual sensory supports that I hope are useful for your work with students that really enjoy or seek visual sensory stimulation. So you may know a child is a visual sensory seeker when you see them either looking closely at objects or looking at objects in a way that isn't specific to the function of that object. So you may see kids that are flapping their fingers a lot. You may see them looking closely at objects or items. You may see kids that really like watching them throw up particles or objects into the air and then seeing the light reflect on them and watching them fall. You may see kids that really like watching things spin or things that are really shiny and reflective. These are all kind of indicators that the child is a visual sensory seeker. So I wanted to give you some other supports that will help with these students find an appropriate way that they can still get that sensory input that they're seeking, but maybe in a more appropriate way. These aren't objects that would need to be used all the time, but can be used with a student when they need either something to calm them. So if you can see that they're starting to get more anxious, you know they're a visual sensory seeker, you can give them access to an object like one of these to help calm them, help them regulate so that they can then return back to work or focus better. And then also it could be something that's used as a reward, because often for visual sensory seekers, it's highly pleasurable for them. So you'll see them really focus or become engrossed in seeking that visual support. So it can be something that they do on a break time or that they earn after a difficult task. So here are some of my favorites. First of all, being a music therapist, of course I like this one because it's a rain stick. It's musical, but it's also highly visual. So you can see there's colorful beads that fall when you tilt it, and students will look at the bead and the reflection off of the plastic as they tilt them. So you can make something like this with like a plastic tube, a see-through tube, and putting something that's bright and shiny in it and having the student be able to flip it over and watch the objects fall through the tube. Something simple to use are these really colorful beads that are highly reflective. So again, when a student is visually engaged in this sensory seeking, you may see them kind of flap it. They'll be watching the reflection of the beads. So anything that's metallic or again reflective would be an effective sensory seeking support for the child. This is a really fun bouncy ball that becomes very visual. So you could find any kind of toy like this that's a light up toy. Again, this one also has these little reflectors in there so that as a student is seeking that sensory input, this would be a useful tool for them. I have some other of those. Here is a little, you can use it as a visual timer, but I've also seen students really like visually watching these shapes form as the little colored water bubbles fall down in there. So you can do this by creating something with oil, a little bit of food coloring and water, and seal it off tight to create your own little visual sensory object. This is a simple magnifying glass that will make things even closer and create kind of a distortion with objects. I've seen students really enjoy looking through these. And then I want to show you this fun bubble tube that we have here. This has been so calming for some of our students that get really dysregulated and need something to kind of bring them back down, calm their sensory system, calm their body down, and just watch the bubbles and watch the different lights and colors as they reflect and move. So this is a really fun visual sensory support for students that need that level of sensory. I hope these are helpful tips for you.